Well, good evening and welcome to another edition of the Leadership Edge podcast. And I'm your host, Dr. P. Ronald Wilder. I'm excited and elated to be able to come to you with another edition of the Leadership Edge, where we talk all things leadership. Leadership in and out, leadership up and down, leadership north and south, leadership east and west. And so if you are looking to increase your leadership knowledge and upgrade your leadership portfolio and get that leadership edge, that edge in your leadership you need, hey, you're in the right place at the right podcast. So, amen. Thank you. I trust that you're having a great day, a great Tuesday. Again, I appreciate you for tuning in to this podcast. Now, listen, don't forget to do me a couple of favors. First of all, amen, hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. However you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, you're on YouTube, subscribe to BGTV Studios. You're watching on Facebook, like and share, and then comment. We want to hear your comments. Amen. If these broadcasts are a blessing to you and help you, let us know, and also let us know where you're watching us from. So, oh man, so keep those things in your mind as we go through. You know, in this virtual space, you know, we can't get amens or go aheads. We can't hear you. The comments become amen, our go aheads and whatever, your response back to us. So go ahead and make sure you comment. Now, listen, BGTV Studios, which I'm broadcasting on tonight, is a platform that was birthed several months ago, and God has blessed it and increased it, and you're watching and being blessed by it, and not only by myself, but the other podcasters. And so I want to admonish you to be a financial supporter or blessing to BGTV Studios. So a supporter, you can, make a monthly donation, become a monthly subscriber, and give something monthly. Supporter, you can just give a one-time gift, a good-sized gift, to keep this ministry moving and going. The ways to give are popped on the screen for you. You can give at bgtvstudios.com, or you can text any amount to 84321. Now listen, BGTV Studios is very good ground. This is good soil. This is a good place to plant seed. Every dime that you give, 100% of it goes directly, amen, to the ministry of BGTV Studios. Myself or any of the other podcasters on this platform receive nothing from your giving. It's not like we break a percentage or how much ever you give when I ask. It doesn't work like that. We're not rolling like that. Every dime that you give goes to BGTV Studios. There's a podcaster that blesses you and you want to be a blessing to his or her ministry, then you have to go to his or her ministry website individually. They can all tell you how to do that. I'll give you mine at the end of the podcast, okay? All right. So please support it. Again, subscribe and do all those things. All right? Well, let's do what we're here for tonight. Let's talk leadership. Let's talk leadership. Tonight, I want to talk about leadership and influence. Leadership and influence. In my book, The ABCs of Leadership, that was written several years ago, in my introductory page, on the very first introductory page, and you can pick up my book on my website, I give the definitions of leadership by some of the most profound leadership experts. And one of the ones that we know, and probably maybe the most foremost name of those would be John Maxwell. But before I give you Maxwell, let me give you some definitions. According to Warren Bennis and Bert Nannis, leadership is doing the right things. According to Vance Packard, leadership is getting others to do what you want, to do something you want them to do. Gary Willis says leadership is mobilizing others toward a goal shared by the leader and the followers. P. Ronald Wilder says leadership is being out front, setting the pace. And John Maxwell says leadership is influence. Now, John Maxwell is probably the most foremost by name recognition leadership guru in the country. Many of us have been blessed by him for many years. His 21 irrefutable laws of leadership and all the things he's done, and he's just been a trailblazer out there. And so John has broken it all down that said that leadership is influence. And that is absolutely correct. Now, that's not all leadership is, but it is influence. Leadership, a great part of leadership is influence, okay? And so we want to talk about that. How does influence play into leadership? And then I want to take that word influence and I want to take the letters of it and give you words from each letter of what a leader is. That's what I want to do tonight. So we can talk about influence. Now, what is influence? And matter of fact, in my book, The ABCs of Leadership, I got a whole chapter on influence under the I section. As a matter of fact, much of what I'm going to give you tonight comes out of that book, okay? So I'm sharing a little bit to kind of arouse your appetite to go ahead and get the book. Now, influence is a term that refers to the ability to indirectly control or affect the actions of other people. In other words, it means that I am affecting indirectly your movement or your actions. I am doing that. Now, I'm not forcing you. I don't have my hands on you. I don't have a gun behind you. I don't have a whip behind you. But I have the ability to indirectly, because I'm not in direct contact with you, to affect your actions. In other words, influence is producing an effect without exertion. I'm not exerting. There's no exertion here. Influence means that somebody is following you and being impacted by you. That's what influence is. It just simply means influence. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, he who thinks he's leading and no one following is taking a walk. So influence means that people follow you. I believe this. If you were to take a group of kids, let's say they're 10 years old, and you take 10-year-olds and put them in the playground. You can get 10-year-olds that don't even know each other and put them out in the playground to start playing. Shortly after they start playing, what will happen? A leader will emerge. One will be influencing the group, because leadership always does. The influences come. You'll find the one that's influencing the whole group. Somebody will do it. That's what influence is. It's being able, without exertion, to affect or produce an effect on someone else without the act of exertion. Now, that's the key point here. It is without the act of exertion, because the moment exertion and force comes in, it is not leadership, it's authoritarian, which is not a good thing, okay? Now, when you become leader over an organization, you are given a tremendous amount of influence over the lives of people. I'm a pastor, and people in my church, Covenant Church International, who we believe we're the greatest church on this side of heaven. That's what we believe. Now, we may not be, but we believe that. Now, the other churches believe the same thing. Poor frog don't praise his own pond, okay? And so the people in that church have given me a tremendous amount of influence over their lives. It's a sacred trust. They trust my integrity. They trust my character. And so as a result, they give me influence so that I have the ability to move them in a direction without exertion. I'll say, hey, we're going to do this, or you need to do that. And it happens. You must never allow, as a leader, listen to me, leaders, you must never allow the leadership or the influence given to you to become control. Because the moment you allow your influence to become control, there's a breakdown in the integrity of the relationship between the leaders and the followers, okay? That's what happens. There's a breakdown. The moment that your leadership becomes controlling and authoritarian, then there's a breakdown in the sacred trust, a violation of that trust between you and the followers. Now, another thing about leadership and influence is that leaders are always on different levels of influence with different people. For example, there are some people in my church, I'm on an influence level of 5. Let's say on a 1 to 5 scale. I'm on 5. That means I can influence them at the highest level. I could say things or make demands on them and not even worry about what they're going to do because of the influence level I have with them. Now, there are other people, and it don't make them bad or nothing. It's just where it is. There are other people I'm on a level 2 with, okay? That means I don't have the same level of exertion over them that I would have over the one at 5. The mistake leaders make many times is that they'll be on level 2 with an individual and try to operate like they're on level 5. And as a result, what they do is they destroy the relationship or mess up or break down because they're trying to make a level 2 influencer be a level 5. It doesn't work like that. You got to know what level you're on with every different individual because because how you move and function with them, amen, will be determined by your knowledge of what level they're on. When you try to do a level 5 relationship with a level 2 influencer, the damage can be irreparable. You can do damage that can never be repaired. You know, I kind of do it like this here, you know, because influence is all about relationship, okay? And I sometimes, in my teaching on relationship with leaders, I tell these, you got to know where you are with people. There are some people, relationships are like bridges, You got different kind of bridges. You got like a little drawbridge that where you got a rope and some little stuff. You walk across there, it's shaking. It can't carry much weight. I grew up out in the country. If you go in some rural parts of Alabama, you'll go across a little road in the back country and it'll say 3-ton limit, meaning that this bridge can only handle something that's 3 tons. So you got some relationships that are like drawbridges. You got some that are like 3 ton. You got others I was in that have bigger bridges. And I remember being in Oakland, California some years ago, and going from Oakland to San Francisco, I crossed the Bay Bridge. The Bay Bridge is one of the biggest bridges in the Bay Area, even bigger than the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate gets the most credit, popularity by name, but the biggest bridge is the Bay Bridge because it runs one way coming up, and above it, it goes, like that, east and west, whatever. And hundreds of thousands of cars go across it a day and at one time. And the Bay Bridge is able to handle all kind of weight. It can handle thousands of cars at a time, hundreds of cars at a time. It's made like that. Well, there are some people you have Bay Bridge relationship with or influence with. They can handle a lot of weight. Others you have 2 ton. I remember some years ago I made a critical mistake because there was an individual who I thought I had a Bay Bridge influence relationship with, but I had only a 3 ton. And I gave them information that was very weighty. And it was too much for them, and it crushed the relationship. And to this day, and that was some years ago, our relationship has never been repaired because I gave them information that the influence and relationship was not there to handle. You have to know what level of influence you have with different people. Don't make that mistake because you put too much weight on them. I gave them information that they couldn't handle, and it was too heavy, and it crushed them. And they never saw me the same as their leader, and I couldn't repair it. It wasn't on them. It was my mistake. I made the critical error there, okay? So know where you are with influence over a person's life. Now, let's look at the word. Let's look at the word influence. Influence. How do you spell influence? INFLUENCE. Okay? Let's take the letters of that word and talk about leaders for a moment. Influence. The I is for initiator. A leader is an initiator. Leaders are always making things happen. They are moving. You don't have to pump them up. You don't have to go put a battery plug and jump them off. They initiate. They see what needs to be done, and guess what? They get it done. They take the initiative. They are not sitting back waiting on you to do something or this, that, and the other. They initiate. That is, they make things happen. Leaders make things happen. Pastor, company leader, if you got people in your leadership team and they not initiating, they not making things happen, then what you don't have what we define as a real leader. You got someone holding a leadership position, but they're not a leader because leaders initiate. They make things happen, okay? I for initiate. N, I use the word never there. Leaders never stop growing. They are lifelong learners. Now, this is my passion right here. As much as I think I've learned about leadership, and I've given you my testimony on this program, how that I studied leadership every day for over 26 years, over 10,000 days, 1 hour every day. Now, you do something for 26 years, 1 hour every day, you're going to learn a few things. You're going to learn some things. Even with that, as much as I've learned, guess what? I'm still learning. I'm still seeking knowledge. I'm still looking to grow, and I'm still growing. Why? Because leaders never stop growing. They are lifelong learners. They are trying to improve. How can I be better? How can I improve? How can I be sharper? That's what leaders want. They never stop. They never get satisfied. Why? Because they realize this very important point, that the moment they get satisfied, they stop being on an upward trajectory. They start plateauing, level out, and ultimately going down. Okay? Never stop growing. Keep your quest for knowledge. Keep your quest for information. Keep learning from those who are sharper than you, or the leaders that inspire you. Keep finding out what's the secret to their success. Keep watching, keep studying, keep listening. Don't ever get to the point where you feel I've gotten it. See, because leadership is like a journey. You never arrive at the apex. I'm here. I'm like a ship on an ocean sailing to a shore that I'll never get to. Because leadership is not an event. It's a journey. And at the end of this journey, there is no destination. Okay? So leaders never stop learning. They never stop growing. Stay in a growth environment. Stay around people that's growing. INF. I is for initiator. N is for never. F is for flexible. A leader is flexible and open to change. If you're not open to change, two things are going to happen. You're going to stop growing, and you're going to plateau, and you're going to become irrelevant. You will no longer be relevant because things around us are changing. Things are fluid. Things are moving, and you have to be flexible. I'm not talking about in terms of conviction. I'm talking about in terms of methodology. Okay? You have to be willing to change because things are constantly changing. Can't get locked in a certain way, in a certain mode, and say, this is it, nothing else matters. Leaders are change agents. Part of your leadership ability of influence is to influence people to make the changes that need to be made. We see change, and we get ahead of change, and we start changing before the change even comes to us. Leaders are change agents. So a leader must be flexible. He must be flexible. INFL. L. A leader leads by example. A leader leads by example. In other words, you set the pace. You lead by example. You set forth the pace. Thank you. You set forth the pace of what we are going to do. You have to lead by example. I remember years ago when I first got into ministry, there was this common belief or thread among leaders at that time was, don't do as I do, but do as I say do. You know, they were saying, don't do what I do because I'm not going to do right, but do what I tell you to do. I'm going to tell you to do right, but I'm not going to do right. Well, that's not leadership. Leadership is leading by example. Whatever I tell you to do, that's what I'm going to do. One of the practices I practice in my own local church, and if my members can tell you that someone probably watching this podcast now, they can type in the comments. As a practice in over 35 years, actually going on 40 years of pastoral ministry, I have never asked them to do anything that I don't do first. I don't ask them to do anything that I don't lead by example. Whether it comes to service, whether it comes to when we have times of fasting and consecration and prayer, I'm leading the pack. When it comes to giving and we ask people to give, I do it for, I'm the biggest, I'm the first tither, I'm the first fruit giver, I am the first giver. Anything I ask them to do, if I ask them for any type offering, I got mine first. I never ask them to do anything I don't do myself. I lead by example. I remember years ago when I was in grad school in the early 2000s at Southwestern Christian University, the dean of our grad school was Dr. Garnet Pike. I am forever grateful to this day for Dr. Garnet Pike. He is very much responsible for what I am today. He taught me things. He would always tell us when we went to class, he would tell us to be on time, don't be late. His famous saying was, don't be late because leaders lead. In other words, you're a leader, you lead. He would always say leaders lead. I have adopted his saying, leaders lead, as mine. As a matter of fact, I close out every program with leaders lead. I sign my book, and in my book I put, when I sign what I'm going to say to you, I'll put at the end, leaders lead, okay? That's what leaders do. They lead. That's why you're a leader. You lead. Leaders lead. That means you lead by example. You lead first. Got to hurry along. My time is catching up with me. I want to finish this up. Okay. You, INFLU. U is for understands. A leader understands that people are his greatest asset. That's it. People, you can't not like people. You can't dislike them. You understand that the greatest asset you have as a leader are the people. That's why you serve them. That's why you give them your best. We're not lone rangers. You cannot do this alone, okay? Another reason I wasn't able to give it to you last week on the failures of leaders, because you try to do it all by yourself. You're a lone ranger. No. People, God give you people. They're your greatest asset. Develop the people and help make them everything they can be, and they'll help you be the greatest leader you can be. A leader understands that people are his greatest asset. E, INFLUE. E is for equips. A leader equips his followers to excel. So the E is for equip and excel, okay? He equips, he gives them the tools to be the best they can be. A leader helps his followers succeed. See, it's not about them all helping you and making you be what you can be. You got to help them be all they can be also. A leader helps his followers to succeed. N, INFLUEN. A leader, the word there is new. A leader embraces new ideas and methods for improvement. However it takes me to improve, I will embrace something new. I will not get so stuck in my tradition and my way of doing things that I can't embrace something new if it helps me improve, if it helps the organization to improve, if it helps the church to improve or the ministry to improve, whatever I need to do, I embrace new ideas. Leaders are innovators. They are innovators. C, INFLUENC. C, the word is coach. A leader is a coach who always got a game plan. The good coaches always have a game plan going into a game. They know what they want to do, how they want to do it. And they don't have the same game plan for different teams. The plan is different based upon the opponent. So a leader's a coach. He always got a game plan. Why? Because leaders are strategic thinkers. They think strategically. Got a game plan. That's how your life got to be. You got to have a plan. You got to have a game plan. You have to be a strategic leader, thinker rather. And then finally, the last E, INFLUENCE, a leader is driven by his quest for excellence. A leader is driven. He wants to excel. He wants to be excellent. He don't have a that'll-do attitude. Leaders see average as the enemy. In other words, I want to be excellent, not average. Anybody can be average, but anybody can't be excellent. Average is my enemy. I want to be excellent. So leaders are driven by their quest for excellence. It's kind of like Lexus had that saying when they first came out, the relentless pursuit of perfection. Leaders have that relentless pursuit of excellence. They see the average, as the enemy. Now, so let me give them to you again. I is initiator. N is never, stop growing. F, flexible, they're flexible. L is they lead, they lead by example. U, understand, leader understands people are as great as asset. E, a leader equips. N, a leader embraces new ideas. C, a leader is a coach who has a game plan. And E, a leader is driven by his quest for excellence. Now, everything that I gave you today on this particular podcast about influence is in my book, The ABCs of Leadership. As a matter of fact, I will show it to you as I get ready to close. There we go. It's the chapter on influence, chapter 16, beginning on page 69, influence. Hey, get this book. I go through different letters of the alphabet, taking words and doing them just like this from a leadership perspective. This will bless you. You can get this book at my website, pronaldwilder.com. It's there. You can order it directly from the website, and it will come to you, amen, and it will be autographed from me. All right, so go ahead and get that. Also visit the website, and on the website, you'll see, amen, our shop page where you can go shop and get many of our leadership teachings. We have some great teachings there. The laws, one of my favorite on my website is the 10 Commandments of Leadership, the rules of engagement. Man, those are hot. You can download them right there, amen, for a small fee. But the best buy on the website is the bundle package. If you go on my website, you'll see over 30 different teachings there. All of them are on this jump drive. You can stick them in your computer. I do it and listen to mine, stick them right in there. It's a jump drive with a USB, and you just stick it in there, and it will work for you. And everything, you can just sit and have a smorgasbord of everything I got. Now, if you were to buy the bundle package on the website, you can get it for less than half of what it would take if you bought everything individually. So this is your best pack. So go to the website, do that, and the Lord will bless you. All right. Now listen, don't forget, we'll be back with you on next Tuesday with another edition of the Leadership Edge. Don't forget, let me get the information one more time, how to support BGTV Studios. Again, you can be a monthly giver or just a one-time gift, however you are persuaded of the Lord. But this is good ground. That's bgtvstudios.com, or you can text any amount to 84321. Those sites are highly encrypted. Your information will be compromised. And once you give the first time, it's stored. You never have to put it in there a second time. Again, you can give securely and safely there. Please give to BGTV Studios. God bless you. May the Lord bless you. And may the Lord keep you. Now listen, I'll see you again on next Tuesday. Until then, this is your host of the Leadership Edge, your number one voice on leadership issues, Dr. P. Ronald Wilder, reminding you of two things. Number one, leadership matters. And number two, in the words of my esteemed dean of my Bible college in grad school, Dr. Garnet Pike, leaders lead. I'll see you on next Tuesday.